are in Oholot, Perek Gimel, Mishnah Zayin, 7th Mishnah in the 3rd chapter, Masechet Oholot. We're going to talk about the idea of how an ohel transfers Tumah. So the way an ohel transfers Tumah is the following: Tefach al tefach, arum tefach miruba. You have to have a tefach by a tefach with a height of a tefach, miruba, square, mevi et hatuma. So an ohel, you would think of it as a tent, but it doesn't have to be a tent. We're going to see it could be anything that's a cover, that's an enclosure, that's that size. And the example we're going to bring the case of what's called a bib, a sewer. So we're actually back to Rav Posen. Rav Posen is back with us. You know, he wrote a book called Tavnit Oholot. We had Tavnit Kelim, not Tavnit Oholot. So we're going to talk about the idea of a sewer. The sewer, as long as it's a tefach al tefach, which is a pretty big sewer pipe, okay? That's considered, if it has an entrance and an exit, it's an ohel. You see it has a tefach on a tefach, the height of a tefach. Let me move myself over here for now, so we're out of the way of all the pictures. Okay, so you have this bib, and that's considered an ohel. Anything can be an ohel. We're going to see in the future Mishnah a bunch of different things could be an ohel, but it has to have the area of a tefach by tefach, the height of a tefach. That's the minimum. Other than that, it's not considered an ohel. But if it is, mevi et tumah, it can transfer tumah. V'chotzeit bipnei tumah. It also stops tumah. As we'll see, ketzad. How in the world does this work? How does it block tumah? Bib shehu kamur b'toch habayit. If you have a bib, the word in Hebrew in Israel is called biyub, sewer. Okay, that's kamur, that's dug in. Kamur chafira, dug in, like it's entrenched under tachat habayit, under the house, like we said. Yesh bo poteach tefach, v'yesh b'yetziato poteach tefach. It has a poteach tefach, and its exit is also poteach tefach. Because remember, tumah has to leave the house. So we're going to see here, this is the case of yesh bo, and there's yitzia. Same size. And we're going to happen, what happens if there's tumah in the house or tumah in here, as we're going to see. Says the Mishnah, tumah betocho, if there's tumah betocho in it, in this sewer pipe, habayit tahor, the house is tahor. Tumah babayit, if the tumah is in the house, masha betocho tahor, then what's inside of it is tahor. So first of all, let's go tumah betocho. Now notice, the Bartuner export, it says that this is talking about a case where there's a door and it's closed. Okay, or some others say that it's slotted. The opening to the sewer is not a potech tefach. Nonetheless, tumah here. So then the tumah we're going to see is going to leave this way. It does not enter into the house. This is not considered part of the house. If the tumah is bitocho, and if the tumah is in the house, even though tumah normally tumah is not interrupted, goes all the way up and down. Nonetheless, in this case, there's a chatzitza. Okay, let's look at that. It's meaning an interruption, so the tumah would leave that doorway. Therefore, tumah babayit, tumah is in the house. Masha b'tocho tahor. What if there's something in this sewer pipe? It's tahor. Why? Shederach tumah latzet ve'ein darka lihikanes. Tumah leaves; it does not enter. Let's look at the Bartuner for a second. What does it mean? Shederach tumah latzet. Okay, ein derech tumah. Where I'm going to make sure I have the right place. Yes, ein derech tumah lachnisa derech petach habib. Tumah is not going to enter through the opening of the bib. Shederech hatumah lotzia derech petach habayit. V'lo lachnisa labib. Tumah leaves, okay, by the way of the house. Meaning, if the tumah is in the house, it's not going to leave through this way and go out that way. Rather, the tumah wants to go out in the normal way through the house, and therefore, tumah babayit. If tumah is in the house, whatever's in here is tahor. The Mishnah continues. That's case number 1. Case number 2. Yesh bo poteach tefach, ve'en b'yitziato poteach tefach. Let's say the trench itself has a poteach tefach, but the exit of the trench of the pipe is less than a poteach tefach. Then you have a problem because the tumah can't get out. It only leaves through a tefach al tefach berum tefach. Hatumah betocho habayit tameh. So let's look at this. We have this picture, right? Okay, here, right? You have your normal thing. This is poteach tefach. So therefore, tumah in it it's as if it's in the house. It brings tumah, but it can't leave through here because this is less than a poteach tefach. So says the Mishnah. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Tumah betocho. If tumah here is inside that pipe, habayit tameh, it has to leave. So it leaves through the doorway, even through the closed door. Why am I doing this? It leaves here through the closed doorway. It has to go out through here. That's the normal way to leave because it can't leave through this less than poteach tefach. But, so therefore the bayit is tamei. Tumah ba'bayit, if the tumah is in the house, mashe b'tocho tahor. Again, whatever's inside, if there's something in it, what's inside of it is tahor. Shederech hatumah latzeit ve'en darka likanes. Tumah always wants to go out. If tumah is in the house, so then whatever's here is okay. Why? Because the tumah wants to go out of the house, as we said. It doesn't want to come and enter further into the house. Rabbi Posen is showing you have the tumah in the house. Mashe b'tocho, whatever's in here is tahor. This is actually a different picture according to other opinions of how this tzinor would have to work. No, we're not going to get into it at all. It's very complicated. Last case. Let's move it up. Ein bo poteach tefach. Ve'en biyatziato poteach tefach. If this pipe is actually less than a tefach, so therefore it's not made via tumah, it can't carry tumah because it's not the minimum size. And the Bartuner says ein biyatziato poteach tefach is obvious because if it doesn't have poteach tefach, it doesn't matter how big the opening is. Tumah betocho, if there's tumah in it, habayit tameh. The house is tameh. Tumah babayit, mashe betocho tameh. Okay, why is that? So then what's in it is tameh. Either way, if tumah in the house or tumah in it, okay, the tumah goes up and down. Says about Tanura, the reason why it is, okay, we're not worried about how big the yitzia is. The ki'ilu en sham chalal klal dameh. Right? It's like as if it's a small opening, not the size of a tefach, on a tefach, that it's as if there's no opening at all. And therefore, that pipe is considered like the ground of the house. The rabbi said, the Torah says anything in the enclosure is tameh. Lerabot karki ito shalbai, to include the ground, just like it, ad hatahom, until the depths, until forever. So therefore, if this thing is too small, anything up down to the depths of hell, anything is, if it's inside the bayit is, if it's inside here, it's tameh. Inside the bayit, whatever is in here is tameh, because the tumah goes down into the ground. Anything in the ground is considered part of the house itself. Mishnah continues. What kind of ditches are these? This doesn't matter what kind of hole it is, whether it was dug, a hole that was dug through water, water caused the trench, or shratzim, or creepy crawly animals, vermin, malachat is some kind of salt-related growth that they had that created openings that dug out into their homes. In the ground, if there's even a stack of stones, of wide stones, and you have 1, 2, and on top of it you have a third stone, and it creates a trench under it. Sva'ar also is an unusual word. Let's look up that word. We were running out of time. Sav'ar, I'm sure Oholot 3:7. You knew you'd get a gesture bonus on there. A pile of joists, some kind of pile. I don't know why the word Sav'ar means pile, but you can let me know if you know. So all of these things, if you like 1, 2, and then a third on top of it, if it's tefach al tefach, the height of a tefach, that brings tumah. Whether it's in the ground, whether it's a pipe, it doesn't matter. Rabbi Yehuda says, Kol oil she'eino asui b'dei adam, and oil. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, not anyone. It has to be made b'dei adam. It has to be an oil that's made by human beings. If it's not made by human beings, it's not an oil, except umodeh b'shkifim u'b'slaim. Shkifim and slaim are different kinds of rock. Targum se'ifei haslaim, shkifei kifa, the notches in the rock. Nikikei haslaim, the holes in the rock. Okay, he says why it's done by the rain, or it's done by itself, and nonetheless, even though avagavdalo nasu b'dei adam, what did Rabbi Yehuda? He agrees that in these cases, Rabbi Yehuda would agree in these cases, in like I guess the caves or whatever that are naturally formed, those do bring the tumah. Why? What's Rabbi Yehuda's logic? Why does Rabbi Yehuda say it has to be bidei adam? Because he says, listen, Yalif ohel mi mishkan. He learns the mishkan is called an ohel. Mar lahalan bidei adam, afkan bidei adam. So just like the mishkan was created by human beings, so too the ohel also has to be created by human beings. Umode b'shkifim u'b'slaim. The Bartuner says that's only if it's tefach al tefach. But if it's significantly larger than al tefach al tefach, then Rabbi Yehuda is modeh, agreeing. All right, we'll stop here and dedicate our learning to memory of my father, Arab Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Make it a great day. Long Mishnah.